Work without expectation. Your work is your prayer. The results are what they are. You have control over the work alone, but never its fruit. So make your work your prayer. Make your work your happiness. And the things that come as a result. No matter how rich you are, you can only sit your ass in one seat at a time, period. And you have to operate from a comfortable seat. And when you get really fully comfortable in that seat, the state of needing nothing, it attracts everything. You go to work without noise in your head. Your focus is laser. And then you become this great thinker or great worker. When you're present and awake, you become a machine, a fine-tuned machine. And then you can be a good servant. This idea of worrying about results, forget results. You have no control over them. Just do the work.
Hello and welcome to Higher Elevations. Tonight's guest, Miss Rashida Taper. Rashida started as a music producer doing production for TV and film in 2012. She has had her music played on the Ellen DeGeneres Show, Judge Mathis, Tyra Banks, CW Network, and E-Correspondence Network. She loved every minute of it and still do. Rashida will be working on a new music project late in spring of 2022. In 2017, she started her company, Rosie Delights, which is a private chef, catering, and meal prep company. She also has her own perfume line called Rosie, which she's working on the commercial next month. Not stopping there, she's also has acted in independent movies, so getting into acting as well as hosting her own gigs. Rashida, welcome to Higher Elevations.
How you doing?
Fantastic, and thanks for asking. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
Glad that you're doing good, and I hope it stays that way. All right, so let's get into this. So for those who don't know you and don't know your background or your story, never heard of Rashida, Gasaway, Taper, Rosie Delight, all these other companies you have. Why don't we start by telling people about your neighborhood that you grew up in? What was that about?
You said what neighborhood I grew up?
Yep. Tell me about the neighborhood you grew up in.
I mean, it was fine. Jefferson Street, DC, uptown. It wasn't too bad. Me, my mom, my dad, granddad, uncle, brother. It was cool. Neighborhood. That's how I met my husband, his friends, and stuff like that. And people I grew up with, went to school with, Catholic school with. So it was average to me. I mean, it was some other stuff on the outside that was getting done, but that to me was just normal stuff.
So where is this neighborhood in? For those people who watch
Northwest.
nationally,
Jefferson, Georgia and Jefferson Street, Northwest DC.
Washington, D.C., the nation's
Yeah.
capital.
Mm-hmm.
So you and your husband grew up together then?
Yeah. My
Wow.
brother went to school with him. So my brother was at their house when he was 5. Of course, he's 8 years older than me, so I wasn't born yet. But when I was born, then I would see my brother's friends come to the house and so forth. So
Right.
I was the little sister.
Well, speaking about that, tell me about, what was it like growing up in the house, then?
It was a mixture because he was cutting up, but
Your brother.
all in all, it was all in all, it was okay. He was doing some things that he shouldn't have been doing, but my grandfather kind of just made sure that, and my dad made sure that I was nowhere. I ain't gonna say near it because I was near it. I was in the house with them, but whatever he did, they didn't want it in my face or me doing it. So whenever he would do something, they just say, "Oh, don't pay no mind to it, don't pay attention to it. Stick to the books, do your homework, or go outside, play with your friends, go ride the bike, play little Barbie dolls." That's what I did.
Wow.
I still saw it, but I kind of like, yeah, you stupid. That was my favorite word to my brother. You just stupid, because I knew it was just stupid stuff he was doing.
So you went to school in D.C.?
Mm-hmm. I went to Catholic school. Well, kindergarten, I was at Truesdale, which is where my brother, my husband, went. But I was at Truesdale for 1 year. That was for pre-K. This Mason, that was my favorite teacher. Then after pre-K, from first grade to 8th grade, my mom stuck me in Catholic school.
I'm sure that had an impact on you growing up, right?
Oh, I was on roll every year, so that was just make me smarter. Ain't bother me none.
Mama
Every
made
year I
sure.
was pass her on a roll every year.
Right. I'm sure Mama made sure of that, right?
Oh yeah, if she didn't, Dad did, because the rules was take your uniform off, keep it clean, don't get it dirty. So as soon as you get home, take that thing off, hang it up, go do your homework, and then you can play afterwards.
Nice routine.
Oh, come in when the street lights come on.
You better.
Oh, I tried one year. That's funny. I tried to do it when didn't want to come when the street lights came on, but my grandfather decided he wanted to embarrass me on Jefferson Street. And decided to tell me in front of my friends, get your ass in the house. I'll make you bring your ass in the house. So I ain't try that one no more. I was trying to test it to see what would happen if I just stayed out with the street lights on. And Granddad said, nope.
You learned
You
that
try
lesson.
it, but I'm going to get you back in the house. And I don't care who hears me. So he decided to embarrass me one day on the front porch.
It only took that one time.
Yeah, 'cause you know their voice get all deep and you get all scared. Like, oh, no, I ain't hear that voice before. So, yeah, he decided to change the voice up on me. I was like, yeah, he mad. Let me go back in the house.
Okay, all right. So let's switch the conversation. Let's talk about your different ventures. You have 3, 4, 5. I stopped counting after 3. All these different businesses.
Too. I have a habit of just keep going and going and going. So I stopped counting half the time.
And there's nothing wrong with that because I got like 4 or 5 myself, so I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So when did you first decide to be an entrepreneur? What was your first business venture?
Well, the music was, but I decided at 18 I wanted to do that anyway. But the funny thing is I wrote it in my yearbook. And some of my classmates couldn't figure out why I put that in the yearbook about what I was going to do and what I'm trying to do, or how I know at 18 that's what you want to do when you graduate. I knew what I wanted to do, but I had made sure to write it down as a reminder. So every time I look at that yearbook, I'm like, yeah,
right,
that's what you're supposed to do. Put a check mark. You did that. Okay, next thing, right. Check mark. You did that. Yeah.
Yes.
They were putting other stuff in there. So I just put at 18, I want my own business. Bam. That's all I put.
You wanted to get into the music industry as a singer or as a producer?
As a producer, but somebody tried to have me do it the other way, and I was like, nope. And they didn't want to listen. They wanted me to do a little. Why don't you sing some background? I did it one time. Was like, no, I like creativity better. Not saying I suck. I didn't suck. It just I felt more comfortable using my hands. I didn't want to have to really hold on a microphone.
Gotcha.
I'm like, I'll write you a song, no problem. Because I was writing books in 5th grade. I'm like, I'll write you a song. I just don't want to sing it.
Oh wow! Oh, you're just full of talent. You're just full of talent. All right, so we talk about all that. So let's first talk about your food. You talk about you don't want to hold the mic, and so you had to work with food. You have to use your hands. All right, so,
I was have to be creative. See, I'm still using fingers to do stuff. So yeah.
So let's talk a little about Roasted Delights, right? How you got into culinary, into that, and then
well, it's pronounced Rossi, but basically the Rossi is my nickname. So I just took that and then put the lights with it because I have fun making food. So I just said, all right, just put the lights with the word. And I did it initially for my brother to help him because he was sick. But I was cooking like every day, 2-3 dishes every day. He used to look at me like, okay, you ain't tired yet? I'm like, no, I ain't tired. Then there are times I stay up like midnight just cooking. He's like, you sure you ain't? I'm like, I'm not tired. He said, oh, well then you need to go to school. So I'm looking at him like, I don't got no money for that. Like, I know it costs a lot of money. I just did a loan for like college. So to him, I'm looking like I don't want no more debt because mom just went and did that for college for me when she was trying to get a grant, and they told her she made too much, so she ended up getting a loan. And he's like, no, I'll do it. And at the time, he was on a budget, so I'm not thinking he's going to even be able to pull it off. But the whole year and a half of the program I did, he paid the whole thing as far as financial aid.
That's a good brother right there. That is a good brother right there. All right, so then so what kind of food were you did you cook or are you cooking now? What kind of food you're into?
Everything. That's a problem. I can't make my mind up. Like when I went to school, they used to always tell me you gotta stick to one thing, and I was like, no, because when we was doing homework, you literally gave us something different every week. Like we would do homework assignments, I think every week, every 7 days. So if you're telling me to make a bread from scratch one day, make a pasta another day, make a Portuguese dish another day, then by the time I'm finished, I'm gonna want to do a variety.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Me doing all that for my homework, I ended up just kept doing it after I graduated.
There's a Spanish dish, my favorite dish called paella. You know?
I make that so good. My mom has requests for that. Every few months, she wants a sausage paella. I did chicken paella. She liked that one. The only one I haven't done was a vegetable one because she wants some meat in hers. But yeah, she puts in requests every few months, and one of them is paella.
That's what's up. All right, so that's enough about the food. So let's dance that food off. Let's switch
Mm-hmm.
conversation to music. Your first love. How would you come up with the name Rah Rah Production Company? I
Well, the Rara was a nickname for my cousin. See, all these names I had in my business is weird. I tie certain people that either I loved or are not here or are still here that was calling me these names. So I said, you know what, I'm just put a little piece of me in all of it. So Rara was from my first cousin, male cousin, and every time he would come see me, he'd be like, "What's up, Rara?" And I would look like, "Okay, that ain't my name, but all right, I'm gonna let you keep it because we related." If you weren't related, I was like, "Don't say that," but it stuck to me so that when I did music, I just started with that. And then my dad, because he loved music at an early age, like I got into it somewhat, and then I went to college. I went full blown. I did the music theory, the music composition, the piano class. What was the other one? Music appreciation class. Like I took all those in one semester, got an A, and then got bored.
Wow.
Because the school didn't have no more music classes.
They started talking about biology.
Or nursing. I'm like, I don't want to be a nurse. Like my mom's like, you gotta do something. I said, well, I don't want to be a nurse. I don't want to be a psychiatrist. Like, I just need to go to a recording engineering school or something. And I ended up finding one in Virginia like a year or so later.
And you went to that?
Yeah, I passed that, and that's how I knew how to work the soundboard.
No kidding. Tell me about that. It's a hand song. They put you in front of the board and they teach you.
Yeah, I did a couple of indie artist sessions when they had me there as for like homework or practice. So they made like when they tell you how to work the console, they'll give you the paperwork first, you memorize and all this stuff. Then they're like, now we want you to take what you memorize and actually do it. And they'll like leave the room and have an artist come in. Oh yeah, check the mic, check this, check that. And so when I did it, he's like, you know, you're the only girl that came in here for this class. I was like, okay, what does that mean? I was like, I didn't take the class to prove a point, but okay.
That was that you special.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't come to prove a point. I just know what I wanted to do, and then was trying to find a school that did it. That wasn't expensive.
There you go. So now you learn how to make use equipment and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you decided to start a company after that, or
like I took what I knew from the equipment and bought a keyboard from Guitar Center. That was about $2,000, $3,000, and the guy that worked there was like, "Oh, I give you a discount." So I'm like, "Well, how much is the discount?" He's like, "Oh, well, you pay 15 for it or pay $2,000 for it." So I went, paid for it, stuck it in my car, took it to my mom's house, and then got a laptop, and put Sonar on it, Sonar Cakewalk. Granted, no one told me how to do it, so when I grabbed it, I said, no, fuck that. I'm going to take it on myself and learn how to do it.
That's right.
Got it hooked up to the keyboard. My mother would come in like, what you doing? She see the keyboard. Oh, okay, I'm going to let you go. I don't want to disturb you. And I did it I got on the keyboard 11 o'clock. I got about 2 in the morning. Every other day. I literally would just get on it at night, make as many beats as possible, shut it down by 2 or 3, and then when I was finished, I had 300 beats.
No kidding. That's dedication right there.
I had a keyboard rolling, Phantom, X8. That was my baby.
I had one of those when I was younger, and I could never figure out how to play the thing. So
I love that thing. That's why I said I need another one.
And look, tell Robert we're interviewing him next week. We don't need to hear his conversation back there.
They can hear you on the thing. Yeah,
he gets his turn next week.
Yeah, he on his phone.
Okay. All right. So talk to me about the different artists you manage, right? So you're producing these beats. You got all these beats. Then what do you do with it then?
Well, I submitted them the first time. That's how I got to the TV show. So my goal is basically go back in, make some new material, and then submit it over to back to Cali for one. But I want to do the film soundtracks too. So My goal is to go to they have a music conference in California once a year. Take it and pitch it to like CW and the films for the major studios.
So how you got on the Helen DeGeneres show and all these other stuff? You just, did a beat and put it in the mail and
Yeah,
say
it fell on
you
my
did?
lap. I did the beat, and a friend of mine that was doing music at the time took the beats I had, and he didn't take all 300, but he took damn near half of it. And when I gave it to him, he didn't tell me he was going, like, it was literally a surprise. And I'm thinking, oh, you just want to see what the stuff sounds like. All right, bet. Gave it to him, and he submitted it. So I get a call 2 weeks later. Oh, yeah, you got picked up. I'm like, what you mean? I got picked up. And he's like, oh, well, it's going to be on the show. What show? Oh, Ellen DeGeneres. So I'm thinking, you're lying. But, I'm like, okay, I gave it to him. And then I look at my ASCAP because they kept telling me, sign ASCAP. So I went and did that prior to him having it. And it had that show plus Jojo Mathis plus CW plus E Correspondence. I said, oh, so you did do it. Okay. And
Wow.
for 2 or 3 years straight, they played that whole they played 5 songs over and over again, in state and international.
You don't get a penny from that, do you?
Yeah, I did. That's why I wasn't mad. I was like, okay, I get my checks every other month from ASCAP. I was not complaining.
Diane is talking about awesome. I'm sorry. Talking
That's
about
okay.
I turned mute my phone.
I know.
So your music is played on the Helen DeGeneres show and all these other ones, right? It was just
Yeah.
the beats. It wasn't nobody rapping or anything over it. It was just the beat.
No, it was basically either them coming out to or them walking off. Like the one that I was really proud was Tyra Banks, because at that point or that year she had a talk show.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at ASCAP. It was saying, she played the cue on one of her guests. So one of the guests that walked out to it is one of my favorite guests is Miss Janet Jackson.
Oh wow!
I'm like, yeah, right. So I actually went to that episode on YouTube and I looked and I tried to listen to it. I said, oh, yeah, they did play my shit because I could hear it when she walked out. I said, oh, okay. Love you too, Janet.
You talk about a good feeling right there.
Yeah.
She was always one of my favorites growing up. I loved her. The pleasure principle.
I know.
You hear me? I can't say. All right. So you got your music play, you got some exposure. You're like, oh man, she can make beats and all that kind of stuff. So how you started, managing artists? Tell me about that.
Oh man, I'm sorry in a minute, but it's a good old friend of mine, and I was telling her, her name Lisa. I was telling her like I didn't want it. Like she kept pushing me to it. She was like, yeah, my boyfriend do this and his friend do that. I'm looking at her like, I don't want to do that. But you make music. I said, I make music. I don't want to manage nothing. Just give me my music instruments and let me have fun. And then she's like, well, just try this one time. Well, the one time turned to a friend, and it was a cousin. Then was a nigga around the neighborhood, and I'm like, oh my! By the time she was finished, I think I had like I think I had like 4 of her friends plus her boyfriend at the time. And then another 3 or 4 on my end, like cousins or cousins' friends. By the time I finished, I had about 7 people. And they was like, that's too many people. I'm surprised I pulled it all, to be honest, because now I think about it, and as I got older, I'm like, yeah, I don't know how you didn't 7 people, but I did it. I literally did it. Like 5 of them were local, and the 2 of them were out of state. Because one was from St. Louis, somebody was from Philly, and we did a show in Philadelphia, and I brought every single, like the picture is on Facebook from old pictures, but I brought every single artist that day to Philadelphia. And I don't know how I pulled it off, but I did. Every single one of them performed that night.
They all performed.
Yeah, that night, to the point where the girl that was doing the show was like, oh no, you gotta come back because you just packed the whole club up. Yeah. And they're not even from Philly, but I guess the songs and people filling them out, they end up liking them so much that they asked them to come back. So that's what I did. I brought them back, and then after that, yeah, I
know you got some of that music on your phone right now. Let's hear that. Let the people hear it.
I really don't. It's a shame that I said I'm going back this year to make some more stuff because the stuff I have is old. Wow. I don't think I have it on my phone no more.
That is very impressive. So what would you say makes for a good song? I mean, how do you know it's a good song? You making all these, you said 100 and something, 300 beats?
I say a gimmick because I know the ones that are real catchy, as far as like catchy verses or catchy hooks. And I used to be like, I don't like, I can't stand. But then you hear it over and over again to the point where you just stuck with it. Something catchy made you just want to like it. You know, you hate it so much that when you hear it, you doing your little two-step or whatever, and you be like,
Right.
I don't like that song, but it's something. I say a verse or a hook. Really a hook. I ain't gonna say a verse because if the hook is catchy, you're not caring what they saying about in the verse. But once you hear that hook, then you're like, oh, that's my shit.
Right. Now it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Like Pop Smoke, it's the song he got. I ain't gonna lie, I'm sorry, but I literally could not stand none of the songs he had until I heard. I still don't. It was only one song that stuck out to me, and that was that damn Christian Dior song. That was it. And I'm like, they played it so much. I was like, okay, I like it now. I didn't like it at first, but I like it now.
Exactly how to get you, and I get it. Like Pop Smoke, Little Dirt, Little Baby. Somebody saw like, oh man, that's the hooks. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the only thing that made me like that song. That Christian Dior hook on it.
All right. Hold up. Y'all smell that? Smells like Rossi. Let's talk perfume.
What about it?
Let's talk perfume.
Yeah, that's all that by accident. I wasn't going to do it at first, but I said, you know what? I like to challenge myself after the time. So I said, I'm going to see what I can do with a perfume bottle. Because I always like different type of smells or similar smells. I got vanilla and strawberry, my two favorite smells. So when someone asked me about putting one out, I was like, well, I'm going to put the name with the food because everybody like to eat. So if you like to eat, I'm going to take that first name and just say, okay, you can smell good too. Put it with perfume.
So Rossi Delight is the food.
And then Rossi is just the perfume.
Perfume. How do you make your own perfume? How does someone do that?
I went to
enlighten my audience on that one. How does someone get into that?
I went to what's they call it, perfumery store, whatever, on site where they literally give you the little flavors that you want to mix together, and they send you a sample. And if you like that bottle, then you purchase or buy that bottle and put it out as consignment and stuff. So I told them what the smell I wanted, and they asked if it's bold or light bold, and then they mail it to you. And that's pretty much how I did it. I told them the flavors. When I smelled it, I said, yeah, that's something I would wear in spring or summertime.
So then it's a matter of just going back to them and say, hey, I need 100 bottles.
Yeah. It's a matter of ordering all the bottles. And you make your own design and put a little design on it.
That's what's up. Give me a virtual fist bump. That's what's up. Back out. That's what's up right there, boy. I tell you. All right, so I mean, music, cooking, perfume. Now you got a company with your husband. Y'all started.
Yeah.
What's the name of that company?
Mr. and Mrs. Taper Enterprises LLC.
Power couple. Talk to me about that.
I stuck him in it. I really didn't. I wasn't sure if he would do it because I know he's a more private person, but I also know he's good with his hands as far as home improvement. So when I noticed he was doing, side gigs with it and everything, I asked him, "Did you ever thought about, doing on your own and putting your own together? That way you can have your own business to leave legacy wise for your kids and stuff like that." Exactly. And then from there, he's like, "Okay." And then when he thought about the book, I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna stretch it a little bit more." And then from with the book to the movie, so yeah, he just went on board with all of it.
Anybody who spends time around you, you're contagious. Can't be around you not have a business. It's like me. I don't want people around me who ain't thinking on the, starting their own business.
I'm always thinking of something to organize or do, like you said, no one else has done. So it's like he gets around me. Yeah, I'm be like, oh, you ever thought about this? You ever thought about that? Because my mind just always sees something like, yeah, you can make a business off of that, or you can make money off of that.
So what kind of stuff y'all do in that business?
Well, with the Taper Enterprises, I kind of broke it down to subsidiaries because there's so much stuff. I said we just kind of put one big planning of it, but it starts with flipping houses. So he's flipping property, real estate. So he's flipping property, doing home improvement, and then his book and his bag. Because like I said, he's creative too, so he has a bag coming out. It's underneath that company.
Gotcha.
And then the Rossi Delights and Music follows it. So basically, Enterprise, the Enterprise is one of the parent, and then Rossi Delights does all little kids, step kids, biological kids, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, they're all little children.
There you go. You're talking about multiple streams of income. That's how
Yeah.
you do it. You can't just be, I'm only selling one kind of t-shirt.
Yeah.
Female t-shirts. What about different color t-shirts?
Yeah, you know how to come, but sometimes people get bored. I'm like, no, I don't want you to get bored. So I'm gonna keep on throwing stuff at you. So you be like, okay, I ain't thinking about them pants over there. I ain't thinking about them shoes, but you're thinking about them now.
Exactly. Like you all of a sudden, oh, let me think about a perfume.
Mm-hmm. Oh, somebody's about doing a clothing line, but I was like, I don't know about that yet. They threw it at me one day. I was like, I don't know.
That is tough. I tell you, I started the t-shirt business years ago, ago. And I had this great idea. I was in the military. I'm gonna do these military style t-shirts. It was called Soldier Loyalty. Right? I was ready to go. I was put all this money into it, buying t-shirts, screen printing them, embroidery. I couldn't compete with everybody out there. For one, these people were getting t-shirts from like China for like 20 cents. $5 for a t-shirt. Right? And then every rapper out there got a t-shirt line. And then you're in this area, shooters, all days.
That's why I said I told them I was thinking about that. I don't know. I'd be better off in the shoes, like high heels, than the clothes. I like high heels, but I was like, we'll see. I said, let me do the perfume first.
At this point, it's almost like you have to go right to the source to get your raw materials.
Yeah.
The retail, even wholesale, it really isn't. So, okay. All right. So let's talk about the companies and, what you're doing, right? In terms of, tell me, how does your business, so many, how does the enterprise compare with other enterprises out there doing some of the same or similar things that you're doing?
I guess this one's different because it's a two-man ship. It's myself plus my husband. So if one person fell, the other person will get him right back up, and we run it together like a day-to-day business, 7 days a week. And I always tease him because he has his 4 a.m. schedule he has. So I call it boardroom time. Even though I know he gets up to go to work, but I like it anyway. I don't know if he likes it, but we always do this thing where 4 a.m. he get up and say, oh, what we going to do today? What's on the agenda? And I just call it boardroom meetings because every morning I do that. It helps me go along my day of what to take care of, what not to take care of, what he going to take care of, what he ain't going to take care of. But whatever I don't do, he do, and vice versa. So that's how we run an enterprise to make sure we keep the ball rolling.
No, that's right. People thought I was crazy. They said, man, how are you going to be starting these businesses in the middle of a pandemic? So, man, you got to think ahead, man. You got to be thinking ahead. So the pandemic hit. You had all these businesses you started, you working, did it have an impact on your business?
It made me money. It helped me. So it didn't really hurt me when it came. I was like, people stopped going to the restaurants and stuff. And I got calls about, can you make this? Can you make that? Can you deliver this? Can you deliver that? So it actually helped me more than it hurt me. The only part of it that hurt me was the traveling, where because I do food outside DMV area as well, I couldn't go to them. So I had to stick down here and deal with my clients down.
You got to do what you got to do. You have to do what you have to do. So how would you describe your company's success so far?
I guess just my perseverance with it and the word of mouth, because I do a lot of one-on-one with these people. So usually if there's anything dealing with food or music or whatever, they're dealing strictly with me, not no third party, I don't know who that person is. I give them my honest word and let them deal with me one-on-one. Therefore, there's no discrepancies. There's no middleman. There's no, I don't trust this, that. No. Either you're going to handle it or you're not. But at least that way, we're right here. I'm looking you right in your face like, yeah, this is not working. We got to go.
And still sticking with COVID, it hit, man. School shut down, businesses shut down. Everybody was impacted. A lot of small businesses went out of business and they ain't coming back.
I know.
So, everybody went to Zoom. Technology was there. So how are you leveraging technology? Using it to to help
It
you
helps with the visuals when they want to see certain things, certain as far as the food, or they want to hear some music. It helps me out with the visuals. So it just added on as a plus with the one-on-one deliveries. Really, it didn't really hurt me at all.
Perfect. That's good because like I said, a lot of companies were here today and gone tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I'm glad that I didn't do yet that my cousin kept asking me to do was get a brick and mortar. Because I told him, I said, well, hell, if I had one now, I would have lost damn money.
Exactly.
Because no one been coming in there. So I'm better off just doing it the way I was doing it before COVID came.
All right. So let me ask you this question. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You got this entire enterprise, different businesses. If your brand is the answer, right, for
Uh-huh.
consumers, if your brand is the answer for the consumers, then what's the question?
I guess what you need, what are you missing that you're not getting from somewhere else? Because that's what I'm gonna give you.
Love it. That's it.
I give you personal touch. So I'm gonna give you what you're missing.
I mean, if you can, I think that's the spirit of entrepreneurship: identify a need and
Yeah.
fulfill that need. I like that
Like
answer.
when I was
I like
doing
that answer.
music, I found out the thing that was missing, ironically, was meal prep. And I started doing a lot more meal prep than just doing little takeout orders because a lot of my clients that was getting meal prep from me were like senior citizens that couldn't get around, they
Yes.
couldn't cook for themselves. The aides are not coming in like they should because of COVID, and the nurses are working somewhere else in the hospital, so they can't come in them no more. So I found that there was a big, big need to assist them with that. So I hurried up and jumped on that.
Y'all hear that? In the middle of a pandemic, she realized the need and she fulfilled it and made money from it. That's
Yes.
entrepreneurship. That's keeping your eyes open and your ears to the ground. You are just so impressive. You don't even know. All right. I'm I thought I was like a superhero doing all these 5 different businesses, but I don't think I can keep up with you, Rashida.
My mama can't.
But
Yeah,
you
I
know
don't
what?
know. I mean, I have family members that just look at me like, when you gonna stop? And I said till I'm crippling crazy. They laugh at me all the time. They like, what you mean? I said, if I'm 60 years old and God bless me, I'm still walking and moving my hands, and I'm gonna still be doing it.
All right, but in
But,
fairness to me, you have me at a disadvantage as you and Robert. In this case, it's only me. So I think I'm doing pretty
oh
good.
yeah, that's extra help right there.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, so we coming down to our last question, and this is what the young people say. This is the crispy one right here.
Okay.
So you got all these businesses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure by the time you're 60, 70 years old, you probably amassed, you and Robert, a lot of money, a lot of wealth. You know, you got insurance and all this kind of stuff, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you give all this to your family. But if you couldn't leave any of that, no money, no jewelry, no clothes, no cars, no houses, but you could leave 3 principles for succeeding in life, in business, or in a career, right?
Mm-hmm.
What 3 principles will those be and why?
I will leave them the knowledge so they know how to handle themselves when I'm not around, and their business if they have one, personal or business. And then the perseverance of not giving up, because you're gonna have some trials and tribulations. I mean, my husband, if he wasn't here, I know there's a couple times I probably would have said fuck it,
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes it's hard to do it by yourself. So if you do have that support, then that helps boost you up. But don't let the trials and tribulations get to you that bad. And keep focused on keep focused on that main goal, that trophy where you're trying to get to.
Y'all heard it
If
right.
you keep your head right there, then you can say the fuck everybody else. That's what I say.
That's excellent advice. I hope people take heed to that. Rashida, thank you so much for
Hmm.
show. I really appreciate that. Folks, if you enjoyed tonight's episode, if you learned something, or even if you just found it entertainment, please take a minute and like the channel, HETV, Higher Elevations. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, on Twitter. We have sponsors. If you want to be one of our sponsors, you can email us at hetvchannel@gmail.com. And some of our sponsors, Human Resources Achievement Program Incorporated, Real Estate Improvement Group Network, and JAE Consulting. Again, please like our page and reach out to us. Rashida, I'm gonna give you the last word. How can people get in touch with you? Give me
Facebook, Rashida Gasway Taper. Instagram, RARA.management, as well as Rossi, ROSSIDELIGHT, Delight for the food. On Twitter, same, RARA.management, and TikTok, Rashida Gasway Tabor. And that's about it. Oh, and LinkedIn, Rashida Gasway Tabor. That's it.
you
For
have to be,
now.
you have
Yeah,
to
for
be
now. I may have another one in about a couple months, but that's for now.
I'm sure you will. Another business, right?
Yeah, I have like 7 different links I gotta keep in my head. Like, what is it? Because some of them are going more than the others.
I know that's right. Thank you so much again. And until
Mm-hmm.
next time, folks, seek higher elevations. Good night, everybody.
Good night.